A very pleasant good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the People's Forum of In the Streets with Big Stone. Today, ladies and gentlemen, this has become past serious, but dangerously serious because it has been announced on the news this afternoon that the bill has been passed and it now awaits the signature of the Governor General of Jamaica for it to be passed into law. This is our last chance, Jamaica, to reject the mark of the beast. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the NIDS. We're talking about the National Identification System. Now, let me tell you this straight up off the bat. I'm not a political motivated person. I do not vote for the JLP and I do not vote for the PNP. I vote for the people of this country. And I'm speaking to you directly as the people of this country because we are the ones that's going to be used as human guinea pigs. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we know as a former law enforcement officer that your fingerprint can exclusively identify you as you. Let me repeat what I just said. Your fingerprint can exclusively identify you as you. Now, for the government to want your iris scan or retina scan or your vein scan or your toe print or your footprint or your blood type is going way too far. And I personally prefer to be arrested instead of being used as a human guinea pig. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to come up with a few, what they call it, conspiracy theories. But first, let's look at who has the record for the most transplanted art in history. We're talking about David Rockefeller, who died recently. Now I'm going to read up on an article, ladies and gentlemen, that includes Mr. Rockefeller and how he refused to let go of life at age 101, which was supposed to be his seventh organ transplant. And the reason why I'm using this, ladies and gentlemen, is because I don't know, based on the people that has been calling me and referring to my page, we're thinking that Jamaica is fastly becoming an organ, an organ pooling area. And if 3 million people are registered into this program, where they know where every single Jamaican lies, where every single Jamaican live, where every single Jamaican operates, then who to tell those rich and famous, those multi-millionaires, those multi-billionaires, if when they need an organ, they can just come into the organ pool that we have here in Jamaica and just say, hey, number 4316 match up perfectly with the organ that I need. Because guess what? We have his blood type, we have his iris type, we have his vein type, we have his foot type, we have every single thing to make sure that this surgery that they perform is a success. Now wait a minute, I'm going to read something that's going to startle you. Now Jamaica, this is what I'm doing. I know I've gotten death threats on this. People have phoned me, people have made posts that I deserve to die because of the things that I speak about in regards to this particular national identification system. Now, I'm not against a national ID system, but I'm against how far the government wants to go. And I'm also against the mandatory nature of this system, where if you refuse, you will be fined $100,000. If you refuse, you can be in prison for up to 5 years. I personally refuse to be used as a guinea pig. Let's go to the records, ladies and gentlemen. Let's read about David Rockefeller, this article. And you can get this article online because I'm going to leave the link down in the description box. Take a listen, Jamaica, of what is about to come, the mark of the beast. David Rockefeller, the famous banker and philanthropist, with the family name that controlled Chase Manhattan Bank for more than a decade and wielded vast influence around the world in the world of finance, has died on Monday morning at his home in Pancantico Hills, New York. He was 101 years old. That's right, the Rockefeller family patriarch refused to let nature take its course and has instead opted to have yet another heart transplant at age 101, officially making the record as having more heart transplant than any other human being that ever existed. The 2016 International Society for Heart and Lung Transplant states that patients should be 70 years or younger to be considered for cardiac transplantation. And even then, these patients are carefully selected based on their current health, including BMI, body mass index. This recent heart transplant comes after David's last one failed a couple weeks ago. According to the Gift of Life Donor Program, there are more than 122,000 people waiting for much needed organs, including, of course, hearts. There are not enough organs to go around, and those who are in need of a transplant must follow the rules that dictate the waiting list, which is managed by the United Network for Organ Sharing, UNOS. Special allowances are sometimes made for children. However, according to the donor program, factors such as a patient's income, celebrity status, and race or ethnic background play no role in determining allocation of organs. Really? Really? So was the International Society for Heart and Lung Transplantation blown smoke up your ass when they said patients should be 70 years or younger to be considered for a heart transplant? Is everyone allowed to have 7 heart transplants by the age of 101? Or is it more likely that David Rockefeller has accomplished his heart transplant record because of his name and money? We let you decide. Organdonor.gov claims that an average of 22 people die each day waiting for transplants that can't take place because of the shortage of donated organs. And this includes children. For accuracy's sake, it is relevant to mention that older individuals in need of a heart transplant will sometimes need organs donated by older individuals as well. But it does not change the fact that our children are currently dying waiting for organ donations. They also state that as more people are in need of transplant, the number of organs being donated are dwindling. And yet, a 100-year-old overweight man who can't stand without a cane or walk without a walker was bumped to the top of the list after already having 6 failed heart transplants. And this supposedly has nothing to do with his celebrity status or income. Right. As we here at Anonymous, wishing for the death of a crusty old bastard who afraid to let nature take its course, who has directly aided in screwing the American people over for decades. No, for a terrible person as David Rockefeller may be, anyone who wishes for the death of another human being cannot call himself a champion for human rights. However, it is this appreciation for human life that causes concern. When it comes to receiving a much needed transplant, everyone in society is supposed to be equal across the board. And yet, that's not what we're seeing here. Citizens who are younger, healthier, and could potentially have more to offer society are dying, while wealthy corporate dictators who are so old their skin is falling off their face are allowed to bypass rules that comes down to life and death. Jamaica. This is just my theory, but a lot of people has been confronting me in the streets, asking me about this NIDS. Now let's say, for example, every single Jamaican participate in this NIDS database system that will soon be passed into law as it's await the signature of the Governor General. You know what is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? If an old rich man or woman needs a heart, a liver, a lungs, a kidney, or any other part of the body that is transferable, all they have to do, ladies and gentlemen, with their money stockpiled this high, is just go into the reservoir. Yes, the reservoir of Jamaica will be 3 million people or 2.88 million people, and they can easily, with their money, go into the reservoir and just look at everyone's DNA, everyone's blood type, everyone iris type, everyone lungs, everyone kidney, everyone vein, and they can easily tell within 1 second who is compatible to who. Jamaica, I'm not a politician here. I'm neither PNP nor JLP. I think of human first. I think of myself first. I think of my fellow citizen of Jamaica first. We cannot sit by idly and watch this mark of the beast comes upon us. So we must, Jamaica, stand up for our rights, stand up for our life, stand up for our dignity, the dignity that Nanny of the Maroons fought for, the dignity that Paul Bogle fought for, the dignity that Sam Sharp fought for and died. All three of them fought and died for the dignity that we now hold here today. We cannot sit by and allow the dignity, the respect, the love of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, who gave of his life. His family life was taken away. He didn't have much time to spend with his kids. He didn't have much time. Dr. Julius Garvey didn't even know his father really, because his father was going back and forth in and out of the island fighting for the struggles of our people. Jamaica, this is serious, serious, serious. I am again for a national ID, but we must struck all the clauses that they want to bring upon us as a race of people. We must struck these clauses from these records, these laws. We cannot afford to sit by and watch them pass a law that is mandatory. Do you understand what mandatory means? You must. And if you fail to respond to this, then you'll be fined $100,000. Or guess what? You'll be locked behind bars. Now, Jamaica, I believe in the teaching of Sam Sharp. I'd rather die on yonder gallows than live as a slave. I personally love this country. I refuse to live elsewhere in the world, and I've been offered time and time again to move from this country and to live elsewhere. I had a green card to the United States of America, and I chose to come home voluntarily and to work for you. I'm not looking for political office. I'm not a minister of religion. All I'm looking for is to live beautiful in this country and enjoy what our ancestors have fought, bled, and died for. Jamaica, this is your last chance. Soon you will have no chance, because guess what? Every single Jamaican must be known to the state. That is what the Prime Minister of Jamaica says. No Jamaican must be anonymous to the state. Jamaica, I stand here ready. I will protest. I will protest. I will protest for my right. For my right. For my right. My right to live and not be used as a guinea pig. Thank you very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. And I do hope you understand exactly what I'm saying. And I do hope you can have a great day. Thank you very much for watching.